At 5 a.m., I was shoveling snow when my neighbor yelled, "Crazy how a failure like you lives among successful people." His family laughed from the window. I just nodded and cleared his sidewalk too. 3 weeks later, on his birthday, I slept with his wife. He still doesn't know, and I am blackmailing his wife for a large sum of money. I, 38M, live in a quiet neighborhood just outside of St. Paul, Minnesota. Suburbia with cracked sidewalks, vinyl fences, and just enough HOA drama to keep the Facebook moms entertained. Moved in 6 years ago after my divorce. House was cheap, insulation was garbage, but the quiet suited me. I keep to myself. Work from home. IT contractor. I like my space cold and my mornings earlier than God intended. Which brings us to February 6th, 5 a.m. sharp. Temperature, -5. Snowfall, 10 inches overnight. I was already halfway through clearing my driveway when I heard the laugh. Crazy how a failure like you lives among successful people. That was Alan, 44M. My neighbor, MBA, drives a leased Escalade. Manages something at a logistics firm, but talks like he owns Amazon. Always in a fleece vest, always one glass too deep into his whiskey by 7 p.m. He was standing on his front porch in slippers, coffee in one hand, the other tucked into his wife's robe. Literally wearing his wife's robe. Steam rose from the mug, but the warmth didn't touch his eyes. Behind him, their kitchen light glowed yellow. His wife, let's call her S, stood at the window with their 2 kids, giggling like background noise in a cheap sitcom. I didn't say anything, just looked at him. Then I nodded, and cleared his sidewalk too. Didn't do it for him. Did it because I don't like uneven snow lines. That's all. He went back inside. Thought he won. Thought he broke something in me. What he didn't know is that I had already been talking to his wife for over a month. Started on Facebook Marketplace. She listed an old table. I messaged her because I recognized it. It used to be in their dining room when I went over for their 4th of July barbecue 2 years back. She said she didn't want it anymore. Neither did he, apparently. From there, it was casual. Likes on posts. DM replies. A comment about how quiet I always seemed. I told her quiet is where people stop pretending. She left that on read for 6 hours. Then replied with her number. We started texting. Nothing explicit. Just the kind of conversations that live in the margins. Unspoken things late at night, typed under blankets next to snoring husbands. 3 weeks later, it was Alan's birthday. His family flew in. His mother made a dry ham. His brother brought a VR headset and a superiority complex. The party ended around 11 p.m. At 11:37, she texted me, "He's asleep. I'll go out the side gate." She came to my house and we warmed up like adults. I walked in like a ghost. Her kids were at her mother's. Alan had passed out snoring with ESPN still playing on loop. She was already wearing the same robe he had on that morning. I didn't say much. Neither did she. She cried afterward. Not out of guilt, but out of relief. Like she'd finally broken something she'd been afraid to touch. I left by 3 a.m. Her final text that night just said, "Thank you." I didn't reply, but I screenshotted everything. See, what Alan doesn't know, and what she now does, is that their marriage has been a lie propped up by image and inheritance. I've got enough receipts now to destroy both. Screenshots, voicemails, one video she didn't know I had my phone recording during. Not for revenge, just insurance. She begged me not to say anything. Not for him, for the kids. I told her I wouldn't. Not if she wired me $38,000. Why 38K? Because that's what he bragged about earning per quarter during a barbecue last summer. After 3 bourbons and one too many anecdotes about how to win in this economy, she transferred it in 2 parts. I haven't spent a dime. And Alan? He still waves at me. Still shovels half his driveway and pretends it's a full job. Still thinks I'm the quiet guy who can't afford to replace his garage door. What he doesn't know could gut him. And that's the point. It's not about revenge. It's not about the money. It's about the silence. And the snow. And the fact that I'll always be the one who knows. Edit 1. No, I haven't told him. That would end it. I don't want it to end. Edit 2. I shovel his driveway every snowfall now. I wait until he's watching. And I smile. Date 1. It happened last Friday. 9:42 a.m. I was in my garage sharpening my snowblower blades, just wasting time before the next storm rolled through, when her name flashed on my phone. No greeting. No preamble. He's noticed. I stared at the screen. The text came in with that quiet kind of panic, like someone trying to scream underwater. I replied with one word. Explain. The typing dots pulsed for a long time. Then came 3 messages, one after the other. He went to check our joint account. Said a large chunk is missing. He thought it was fraud at first. He's calling the bank right now. I kept my gloves on, kept sharpening the blade. Let her feel the space between my replies. Then, what did you tell him? She didn't answer for 5 full minutes. Then, that I paid for a design consultation. Something to do with the home office remodel we never did. He didn't buy it. Not really. Another pause. He's angry, not yelling. Worse, he's quiet. I looked up at the sky. Gray, heavy. Storm was coming in by Sunday. A good 6 inches, maybe more. Wouldn't be the worst thing. I texted back. Stick to your story. She didn't reply right away. When she finally did, all she said was, I hate this. I hate lying. I read that one twice, then sent. You didn't hate it when you told me to come through the gate. Silence. I haven't heard from her since Monday, but I saw her this morning. She was standing at the kitchen window, hands wrapped around a coffee mug, staring out at the snow-covered street like it owed her something. Alan came out to salt the driveway around 7:15. He didn't wave this time. He looked at my house for a little too long. Not suspicion yet, just curiosity laced with unease. Like something's buzzing in his ears, but he can't find the fly. I nodded to him like always. Then I walked back inside. The funny part? He still doesn't know what the number 38,000 actually means. Not the amount. The message. It's how many steps it'll take to completely unravel him. If she slips. If he checks the metadata on that invoice she submitted. If he wonders why the contact info leads to a disconnected number that used to be a burner I let expire last week. If he asks her about the night of his birthday and realizes she was gone between 11 p.m. and 2:30 a.m., and her phone GPS was off. If he finds the message she forgot to delete. Come through the gate. Tick, tick, tick. I didn't want to destroy him, but now the fuse is lit, and she's the one holding the match. Edit. No, I haven't asked her for more money. I won't. That part's done. But control? Control doesn't cost anything once they start unraveling themselves. Update 2. It started with the garbage can. Monday morning. Still dark. Snow just a dusting. I heard the wheels scraping the concrete around 6:50 a.m. Looked out my front window and there he was. Alan. Dragging their bin back up the drive with a little more force than necessary. Noticed it immediately. He stopped. Looked across the street at mine. No movement. But then he did something I hadn't seen before. He checked his ring cam. It was subtle. Just a tap on the phone. Quick glance at the feed. Then a longer pause. Like something caught his eye. I waited. Later that day, she messaged me from a different number. One I didn't recognize. You were right. He pulled footage. He saw me leave. He thinks it was another man. I didn't deny it. That last part? That was new. I waited before replying. Did you give him a name? No. He asked. I said it didn't matter. I said he hadn't noticed me in years, so why would it matter now? He lost it. I asked what that meant. Yelled. Slammed the door. Took the Escalade. Hasn't come home. I think he's staying at that hotel on County Road E. The one near the conference center. Then she said the thing that made me pause. I'm scared. Scared. Of me? Of him? Of what this silence is doing to her. Hard to say. But she kept talking. He said he's getting a lawyer. He wants to know where the money went. Said he'll subpoena if he has to. I told her the truth. He won't find me. That's not what I'm afraid of. Later that night I watched the house. No lights on. No kids yelling. Just her shadow pacing past the front window like a trapped animal. She called 3 times. I didn't answer. This isn't about me anymore. It's about her. The thing about secrets is they rot quietly before they explode. She was the one who reached out. She was the one who asked for the risk. The moment she let me in, she made a choice. I've made mine. The documents are still safe. Encrypted. Printed. Duplicated. One set in a lockbox downtown. One uploaded to cloud storage under a buried email account only I can access. He finds out, it's on her. She breaks, it's on her. I'm clean. Untouched. Invisible. And still, he shovels half his driveway. Leaves the other half covered in slush. Like if he pretends the mess isn't there, it'll melt on its own. It won't. It never does. Edit 1. No, I haven't spoken to either of them in person. I don't need to. People destroy themselves better than anyone else ever could. Edit 2. I still shovel his sidewalk. Not for him. For me. Because every perfect line I cut through the snow reminds me of the line he can't see. The one between image and reality, and how fast you fall when the ground beneath you was fake all along. Update 3. 3 weeks have passed. I haven't heard from her again. Alan's Escalade hasn't been in the driveway for days. The garbage can sit untouched at the curb, even after the snowplow buried it last Thursday. A pizza box froze to their front porch step. No footprints around it. He moved out. Not quietly either. 2 Saturdays ago, a moving truck rolled in just after 7 a.m. Didn't recognize the company. Local, no branding. He stood out front with 2 guys in hooded sweatshirts, directing them like a man trying to pretend his life hadn't detonated behind him. She wasn't there. From what I gathered, thank you, HOA Facebook moms, she'd already gone to stay with her sister in Eden Prairie. The official story? Trial separation. The real one, a shredded marriage, a hollowed-out account, and no one left to pin the blame on. Alan's brother came by that afternoon. Big guy, beard, blue pickup with a dented tailgate. They loaded what was left. Grill, toolbox, a few black storage bins labeled Garage Alan. The porch light flicked on just before sunset. That was the last time I saw him. Yesterday, a for sale sign appeared on their lawn. Just like that. 3 months ago, he yelled across the street that I was a failure living among successful people. Now his house is empty. His wife is gone. His money is gone. And he still doesn't know why. But here's the twist. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not proud either. It's not satisfaction I feel. It's nothing. That's what people like Alan never understand. They think the opposite of love is hate. It's not. It's disinterest. Silence. Not caring enough to even gloat. I could have told him everything. Could have stood on the porch with a cigarette and delivered the final blow. But I didn't. Now, I'm back to early mornings. Snow removal. Coffee in silence. Work in peace. No threats. No leverage. No more phone calls. I deleted the cloud folder last week. Shredded the printouts the same day. Let the receipts burn. Because I'm not a hostage taker. I just needed her to understand, for once, what it feels like to lose control. She did. And now she's alone. The last text she ever sent me still sits unopened in my archive. Just 5 words. Do you hate me now? I never replied. She doesn't need the answer. She already lives in it. Edit. I still shovel Alan's sidewalk. Out of habit. Out of ritual. Out of something that looks like mercy but isn't. Because sometimes, kindness is the cruelest thing you can leave behind.